Hello student, my name is Rohit Kumar. I am your social science teacher from Maples Academy, Deoband. Student, today we are discussing about the chapter number 13, a globe, latitude and longitude. In this chapter, the globe, we are discussing about many points like latitudes, longitude, heat zone, grid lines, and international date line ideal, and the standard time and local time also. The globe. You have learned that the earth is a spherical in shape. It is slightly flattened at both poles and bulges at the equator. This bulge is due to the centrifugal force caused by the rotation of the earth, and the shape is referred to as a geoid. In our studies, we represent the earth by a spherical model called a globe. The globe is always mounted on a stand with its axis tilted. You can see in the picture the earth is tilted from the normal axis to the 23 degree and half. Then the earth axis, which is an imaginary line through the center of the earth on which the earth is rotated, is likewise tilted at 23 and half degree. The north end of the axis is north pole and the south end of the axis is south pole. The places on the earth are located by the means of two set of lines drawn on a globe or a map, latitudes, and the next one is longitude. Geographer use these imaginary lines. Geographer use these imaginary lines as which do not actually exist on the surface of the earth to study the location. Latitude. Now first point is latitude. The two end of the earth axis, the north pole and the south pole, are the basic point of the reference to locate the places. Latitude is also an angular distance of a place north or south of the equator as measured from the center of the earth. The earth from the equator is also divided. Equator is the imaginary line. It is also divided the earth into two parts, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. At equator, the angle of latitude is 0 degree. The equator is also called a great circle, divide the earth into two halves, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. The equator represents 0 degree while the north pole and the south pole are 90 degree of the equator. In order to measure the equal distance from the equator, circles are drawn at an angular distance of 1 degree apart from the center of the earth on the both sides of the equator. All latitudes are drawn parallel to the equator and run from west to east. As these lines are parallel to the equator, they are parallel of latitudes. There are 180 parallel of the latitude in all the 90 parallel in the southern hemisphere and 90 in the southern hemisphere. The important lines of latitude are the equator 0 degree and the Tropic of Cancer 23 degree and half and the Tropic of Capricorn 23 degree and half south. An Arctic Circle is in the northern hemisphere 66 degree and half north, and Antarctic Circle is 66 and half degree south, and the North Pole is 90 degree and the South Pole is 90 degrees south. Yes. Now next is heat zone. The climate changes from hot to warm and warm to cold. Frigid or cold as we move away from the equator towards the pole. This is because as we move from the equator, the sun rays falls on the earth surface at a more slanted angles. Thus heat is spread over a larger area. The rays also travel through a longer part of the atmosphere and hence heating is reduced. On the basis of the distance from the equator, the earth is divided into three broad climatic zones. Now we are discussing. Then first zone is torrid zone. Torrid zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer in the north and Tropic of Capricorn in the south. The equator falls in this zone since the region receives direct rays of the sun throughout the year. It is the hottest zone. That's why this is called torrid zone. Now next is the temperate zone. Temperate zone is a moderate temperature zone. The north temperate zone is lie between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle, and the south of the temperature zone lies between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle. The rays of the sun reaches the Earth's surface at a slanted angles throughout the year. That's why the temperature of the temperate zone is moderate, not too cold, not too hot. The next is frigid zone. Is a very cold zone. Frigid means cold. The north frigid zone lies between the Arctic Circle and the North Pole, while the south frigid zone lies between the Antarctic Circle, the South Pole. These regions are extremely cold and permanently frozen because the sun rays the Earth's surface at an extremely slanted angles. Now the next is longitude. Longitude is also a angular distance of a place of the surface of the earth measured in degrees east or west of the prime meridian. It is measured from the center of the earth, and this is clear in the figure. The longitudinal lines are drawn from the around the earth from the north pole to the south pole. These semicircles are equal length and are known as lines of longitude or meridians of longitude. These are the meridians of the longitude. There are 360 meridians in all, 180 to the east and 180 to the west of the 0 degree line. And in order to have a common line of reference to the measure the east-west distance on the earth, all countries of the world agreed on the center line of longitude passing through Greenwich in England at the 0 degree line. This is called prime meridian. To measure the equal distance from the prime meridian, lines are drawn at an angular distance 1 degree on the both of the prime meridian. And if you look at the globe, you will see the 0 degree or the prime meridian and 180 degree together from a complete circle, the great circle, which is divide the earth into two halves, the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. Now the next is locating place on earth. Parallel of the latitude and the meridian of the longitude together form a network of lines on the globe or called grid. This point of intersection, latitude or with the longitude at a right angles, and the exact location of a place, each longitude and a latitude meets at a one point. Now the next is longitude and time and local time. Now a longitude help us to find out the time of the particular place. Since the earth rotates from the west to east, is in the anti-clockwise direction. Place in the east have sunrise earlier than those in the west. Therefore the time varies from the one longitude to the another. For example, when people in the Delhi are having a breakfast, people in London are fast asleep. The local time is also a very important about the time zone. If we set our watches to correct the time at 12 noon, when our longitude is directly under the sun, the time show it is set to be a local time. Similarly, all the meridians of the east and west will have their own particular local time. By the international agreement, the world is divided into 24 time zone or belts. Each zone covers 15 degree of the longitude. To study at the map of the time zone, the prime meridian passing through the Royal Observatory Greenwich near London is used as the starting point. The local time here is known as the Greenwich Mean Time, that means GMT. And our India, the time zone of our India is in a standard time zone. If we travel in a train, so we watches on every platform on Indian railway station, the time of every watch all around our India is same. because we have followed the Indian Standard Time. Our India's longitudinal extent is 60 degrees 7 minute east to the 97 degree 25 minute east, which is not too large. 82 degree 30 minute east longitude, which runs almost having the center of the country near Allahabad, now called Prayagraj, which is the time, which is the point at which our Indian Standard Time is as followed. Our IST is about 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of GMT, and international dateline by the international agreement 180 degree meridian is called the international dateline 180 degree both east and west. If we move from the right western hemisphere to the left eastern hemisphere of the 180 degree line, if we get ahead by a day, we lose a day. If we move from a left to the eastern hemisphere to the right western hemisphere, we go back by a day or gain by a day. Now this is all about the chapter number 13, a globe, latitudes and longitude. Thank you.